Everyone, welcome to Refuel and back to my house. I'm recording here again today and I'm really kind of enjoying it. I may need to find a better background than just a green wall, but anyway, for now that's what you get. So we are diving in today to another verse it's a whole chapter actually in Psalms. And I told you that the verses this month were going to be, more about love and that type of thing. And the word love is not actually in this, but it's about living in unity. And this was a hard one for me to really, I don't know. I don't even have words for it. So, but it's such a good verse. And it's kind of, it's interesting to see that, the world is not a whole lot different than it was way back in David's day. So is what it is. Satan's out for us, and unity is one of those things that he does not want for God's people. And even the text of the verse, it's Psalms 133, and it's just the very first word, behold. And when you see that word, behold, it's supposed to make you stop and look at it and really think and pause. Like, it's one of those words. Pause. Read the rest of this with a really, thinking about what you're about to read, because it's something that is seldom seen, and you need to inspect it and gaze upon it and take note. That's what it means. So it starts out, take note. This is something that you don't see very often. It says, how good and pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell in unity. Another version says, how wonderful and how beautiful when brothers and sisters get along. And then, it goes into his little songwriting thing of, it is like the precious oil on the head, running down on the beard of Aaron, running down on the collar of his robes. It is like the dew of Hermon, which falls on the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord has commanded the blessing, life forevermore. In other translations, that last sentence reads, yes, that's where God commands the blessing, ordains eternal life. And then I like how it says it in the Passion. Indeed, this is where Yahweh has decreed his blessings will be found, the promise of life forevermore. So it's within that process of walking in unity that his blessing is found. And so, maybe it's just me, but when I look at this and I'm thinking about brothers and sisters and, the church, the world, I kind of go way out here, just the big, and I need to kind of bring it down into my world and my sphere. Because that's, I can only start here. I can't do out there. I can do here. And when I think about, even in my own home, when my house is, when my kids are, enjoying each other and they're delighting in each other, and they're, working on something together, and the house is, running smoothly, it is a delight to a mom. It's a delight for dad to come home, in the evenings when there's laughter and peace in the house. And that is really what this is talking about, that type of unity. It's not uniformity. My girls are as different as they can possibly be. They see things different. They do things differently. I mean, it's just, if you there's not going to be anybody that you do anything just like, no matter how similar you are. We all have our own opinions about things. We all have different backgrounds. But you can also be a unit. You can have one goal, one focus, one, anyway, I'm just going to go on from there. And that creates that unity, that, in our house, it wasn't that and you didn't have to, I know I'm stumbling over my words. This is like the second time I've recorded this because I kept getting so many interruptions and now my brain's everywhere. So sorry, squirrel chase with me for a little bit. Unity doesn't mean that there's never going to be confrontation or arguments or disagreements. That's not what that means at all either. Because we're human, that is part of life, but how it's resolved and how it works, doesn't mean that all out chaos and war has to happen. You can discuss things, you can work through things, you can take people's different perspectives and make it work and keep that unity and that peace operating. And really, if you go back to Genesis 13:9, it talks about how sometimes it's best, and it's chosen as best to preserve peace, that some should live apart to prevent strife. But the goodness and the joy is found in the community of one heart and one interest. So, timeouts are necessary for moms as well. But, I hope you understand what I'm saying. If I can take this and condense it down to my little world and my little space, and then take it out into my work, and then take it out into my church, and then take it out into community, I can see how it operates and how I can be a catalyst for living in unity with my brothers and sisters. But I have to start it here in the small. Sorry, again, things are just happening right now. Okay, anyway, so that is one of those things that when we see a verse like this, I think sometimes we get in that mindset of, well, if it didn't happen back then, it's not happening now, kind of a deal. You know what I mean? Or it's just too big for us to really get a handle on. Well, we need to take those verses and pull them back down to here. One of the commentaries was talking about, is Matthew Henry's commentary. And it said, behold and wonder that there should be so much goodness and pleasantness among men, so much of heaven on this earth. Behold, it is an amiable thing which will attract our hearts. Behold, it is an exemplary thing which where it is to be imitated by us. Okay, so I had to sort through some of those words there. I don't do wording like that very well. Anyway, but I just thought how when you come into a home that there is unity, that, whether there's disagreements or, things like that, that still is a whole, the home is peaceful, that we take the time to delight in each other, which really is what living in unity and dwelling together really is about delighting in each other and promoting each other. And man, do we live in a society that is not, we don't take the time to do that. Do we even know how to do that? Do we know how to delight in each other? And how do we get to that? Anyway, see, I told y'all I was squirrel chasing all over the place. But when you come into a home where you do find that, where you find the unity, where literally brothers and sisters are getting along, that parents are working together, towards the same goal, towards, just living in a home that there is peace and love and that we delight in each other. It is like a little piece of heaven on earth. And that really is part of our call here to be on earth, is to pull heaven here. And to do that, we have to start learning how to walk in unity and what that really means as a body of believers. Charles Spurgeon, he had some great stuff, and I didn't write it all down. I probably should have, but he was saying, well, no wonder that brothers dwell in unity when God dwells among them and finds his rest in them. And they say that when David wrote this psalm, it was upon the occasion of the union between the tribes, when they were there to unanimously make him king. The ark had come to reside in this city of Jerusalem, and all the tribes were there. So God was dwelling among them. They had decided to make David their king. They were living in a place of one heart, one focus. God was the focus. They had decided to, this man after God's own heart, to lead them. And so God was dwelling there. And Charles also said, a church united for years in earnest service to the Lord is a well of goodness and joy to all who dwell around it. So man, what a difference we could make if within our churches, within our communities, we were living this out, because it is where the blessing resides. When we can live in unity, when we can delight in each other, when we can promote each other, when we, just take on a different heart and a different way of looking at things. So this, for this week, this verse, it's just one of those that's probably going to take a long time to really process through. But it also, for me, was one of those times where I was like, I really have to take these verses, bring them back down into my sphere, my place of influence, where I live, and that is, here at home, at the studio, and at the boutique, and then at church. And how do I work towards this in those places? And where am I not being of one heart and one mind with the people that are, that God has put in around me? So anyway, that's my take on this. I would love to hear kind of what you got from this verse, and if you got anything out of my ramblings today, because it was a little bit rambly. But sometimes that's how these verses work to me. Like, I just kind of, throughout the week, am like looking at things and hearing things and going, oh, okay, well, yeah, this is why this is working, because we are in unity, and we, people do want to come in here and be around us because there's such joy and peace and pleasantness because of the unity that we have. Or even taking time to look at situations and going, well, why don't people like being there? Oh, well, there's not that unity, and it's not that they aren't peaceful people, but that unity really brings something, that blessing in, and it does introduce that kind of heaven here on earth feeling. And that's really what we are about, walking in that and walking that out. So anyway, I hope you got something out of it, maybe some entertainment. I don't know. But I myself am going to be working on walking in unity, really looking at what that means, finding the heart of, the people I'm residing with, working with, what their hearts are, so that we can start walking it out in unity, and just creating an atmosphere of blessings and peace and joy that others around us get to really also enjoy and witness that little bit of heaven here on earth. So thanks for joining me. Be sure you subscribe, like, click the notification bell. I upload every Sunday. So just quick little walkthrough of these verses, which you'll find the verses on Facebook and Instagram, so that you can work along with me on these and share your thoughts with us as well. So I will see you guys next week.